to The Practical Path, a podcast for personal and spiritual growth. Every week, another step along the path toward a more peaceful, happy life. A life where you grow into the best possible version of yourself, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Now, let's get started down the path for today. And welcome. This is The Practical Path, a podcast for personal and spiritual growth. Step number 61 along the path. Yours truly, Bill Skladowski, and my partner, Vicki Wagner. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Bill. I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. So it was, I know you don't care, but it was a good football weekend in this house.
Oh.
We had all our team, all except for one of our teams won.
Okay.
My lady friend, her team lost, so there had to be some comforting and some, shoulders to cry on and all
I
that.
was going to say a lot of tissues.
Oh
my gosh.
No, she took it like an adult, and
Good for her.
It just required some pizza, and we were good. So it was it was all good.
I'm sure a couple beers too.
What's that?
Probably a couple beers too.
The kick in this house is apple spiced whiskey.
Whoa.
Yeah, right?
Woo.
Says the lady who's a big Captain Morgan spiced rum fan. I remember enjoying quite a number of those out on a back porch in Georgia somewhere, beautifully overlooking trees and enjoying a beverage. So anyway, not recommending that you make it a big habit, but occasionally at night around here, there's, one nightcap thing.
Works for me too.
By the way, it goes really good. See, it's very spiritual. It goes really well in chai tea.
Oh.
Right?
Interesting. Okay.
That's all I'm saying. So it's part of our spiritual development process around here. And if you believe that, I got some beachfront property in Denver to sell you. Okay, fine. So how you doing?
And I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Like I said, just gave you the breakdown there. It's all good. It's all good this week. So.
Yes, great.
Now, a little bit of a change of plan this week for our friends and listeners, and it's going to be a great one because we are going to have a guest on the show. Have we ever had a guest on the show?
I don't recall.
I don't think so. This is step number 61 along the practical path. It'll be a milestone. It'll be a big one. So we have a live guest coming up, and it's somebody you know, and we have spoken about many a time, and a good friend of the program, and with an amazing story to tell.
Oh, he's a miracle.
There you go.
Just say that. Leave it at that.
Don't give it away. But I did want to get in a couple of things, including, of course, our word of the week. Something for people to think about. And of course, as we always do at the beginning of the show, if anybody is interested or would like to, get a little assistance on on the things that we talk about. Mm-hmm. By the way, today's word of the week is balance. More on that in a moment. If you'd like some help with getting more balance in your life, I can think of nobody better than my friend Vicki. If somebody were interested in that, is that something you can help people with?
Oh, absolutely. Yep. They can call or text me at 239-248-0586 or email me at Vicki, V-I-C-K-I, Wagner, W-A-G-O-N-E-R 53@gmail.com.
There you go. And of course, if I don't mention it, she gets mad at me. So I have to mention the fact that yours truly also has his YouTube channel out there for help with your high-tech gadgets and gizmos and all that. Just do a search on YouTube for Bill's iPhone Tips, Bill's iPhone Tips. And there you go. You'll find me, and just look for the guy in the red shirt. That's me. So,
okay. And I nag you because you are so good at it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I do. I'm giving serious thoughts to the iPhone upgrade. So,
I saw that. Did you see on Amazon they're having some specials?
Are they really? Oh
Yes.
boy, don't tempt me. Do not lead me into temptation. I can find it myself.
Oh, yeah.
as
Me
they
too.
say. Yeah. So, well, there you
No,
go.
check it
So
out because there's some good deals on there. Yeah.
awesome. All right. I'll go
Wish-
check that out later.
Yeah. Yeah.
As always, if you're interested in learning more about what either Bill or Vicky have to can do and offer, all that information is in the show notes of the program. So just check that wherever you get it, which by the way, we would love it if you would leave a review and a 5-star, little review for us wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube Music, you name it, we're there. All right. The word of the week, and I already mentioned it, is balance.
Hmm.
And I don't mean like juggling, although
Oh,
sometimes it feels that way.
yeah. Sometimes life is.
Balance is a living practice, not a destination, which I love that
Hmm.
because I think as we go through life, we find we are balanced in different ways as we go.
Hmm.
If you and I were younger and working or raising kids or whatever, building a business, whatever it is,
Yeah.
that would be part of the balance. And
Yes.
now I'm not doing any of those things. Well, maybe a little of with the business side, but
Yeah. The business.
all of that. Same for you. So it's different things at different times. Balance isn't something you achieve once and keep forever. It is a continuous act of adjustment, like keeping
Mhm.
your footing on a shifting path. The goal is not perfection, it is, and here's our favorite word, awareness.
Yes.
So, the question for you today, where in your life do you notice yourself constantly overcorrecting? And what might it feel like to simply adjust instead of strive?
Good one.
I
Yes.
I've heard strive a lot. I think that means it's almost like overdoing it,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah. Could be.
could be,
Or strive could be also kind of like a goal.
right?
Like, okay, you're striving for a goal.
Right. So
Yeah.
be and because we said
That way to
balance
look
is
at it.
not like it's not you don't arrive at this point in life where you go, "Oh, I'm doing the balance thing with my hands. I'm balanced now." Well, great, but tomorrow you won't be. So or, you can think that you are, but no, it changes with the conditions of your life. So the awareness part of it of, okay, what am I doing and how am I adjusting to the conditions of life right now?
Right. Yeah.
To me, that's the balance thing. And it says a couple of pointers on that. Number one, inner balance begins with honest listening. We
Mm,
often lose balance when we ignore what our body, mind, and spirit are trying to tell us. Things like fatigue, tension, frustration. Real balance starts by listening inward before reacting outward.
yes.
Love
That's
that.
really important. And trusting that. A lot of times people go, oh, I don't know, that doesn't really mean anything. Well, yeah, it does. Take time to sit with it, maybe write it down or talk with somebody about it. Because your higher self, your body, your mind, how your intuition, it's all there to support you, to encourage you, to guide you. So listen to it.
Right. Right. And I think you're right. I think that, and I'm not going to say especially in this day and age, I think every day and age has its own distractions,
Yes.
whatever they might be, whether it's, fighting dragons way back in the in the past or what we're doing today. Yeah,
Right.
again, the distractions of it tend to take us away from the honest checking in and feeling like, okay, like you said, how does this feel with myself? And yes, I should trust this. I mean, unless you're doing something totally crazy or you've again totally just overdone the adult beverages, shall we
Oh,
say, or
yes.
something like that that's affecting the way you feel.
Yes. Absolutely.
If it's a normal everyday thing and you
Hmm.
are feeling some way, you are very much encouraged to trust that. Yes?
Yes. Yes. Trust it, be with it, and then act upon it.
Right.
You'd have to take action on these things. You can't say, well, okay, I'll do it, next week. Well, it's getting your attention for a reason.
We've talked about that on this show about how the universe will start very gently. Hey, hey, Bill, you might want to look at this thing. And then after a week of not looking at that thing, something comes along and wham!
Wait, you
You're
weren't.
and you're
Oh,
sitting there on yeah, you're sitting there on your butt on the sidewalk having tripped over something and you're going, "How did that happen?" Well, the
hmm.
universe has been trying to get your attention for a week now. You just haven't been listening.
Oh, they get very creative.
Right, right. And again, we're not here to tell you what you believe in as far as your faith or religion or spirituality
Oh,
or whatever. I
right.
think we can all agree, however, that the how to say that the powers that be in the
Yes,
if you like angels, that's fine. If you like your God or your spirit or your teachers or your masters or whatever it is, or even just if you're a Star Wars fan, the Force,
the force.
it doesn't matter. It's all
Yeah.
working to try to kind of guide you or help you
Yes.
or show you stuff, right? I mean,
Yes, absolutely. It's supporting you. It's encouraging you. It's saying, "Hey, look at this from a different perspective."
right, right.
It's all for our own good. We have to be the ones to put it into action. They're giving us these gifts. We have to take them and then apply them.
Number two, balancing. Also, you have to balance doing with being. We always talk about I'm a human being, not a human doing. That's a very popular, but many people, including, I mean, I raise my hand on that one. Many of us find our identity in the doing, day-to-day productivity, services, busyness, etc. Balance calls for being, not necessarily doing. Things
Yeah.
like rest, reflection, presence, awareness. Both the doing and the being are sacred. One without the other leaves you empty. And I can speak to
Oh,
that because, yeah, I've been on both sides of that where it's
oh,
like,
me too. Quite a
what have
few.
I done today? Well, I was very busy today. I did this, and but did you get anything done or did you? No, I just was busy. So yeah, I get it. I do. I do.
Yes, that's important.
Relationships as a mirror of balance. Next point. Our connections often reveal our imbalances, overgiving, over receiving, or expecting others to carry what is ours to handle. Balance in relationship means reciprocity and also healthy boundaries.
Yes,
Ooh.
very important. Very important.
Having been through the process with Miss Vicky, I know that that is something she talks with clients about a lot. The
Hmm.
boundaries thing. It's like,
Yes, very important.
and I had to do that in a past relationship myself, whereas where I had to think, all right, what am I doing for this relationship versus what am I getting from this relationship? Not that
Mhm.
I was complaining about being like, so I'm always giving. No, I get it. I understand that.
Right. Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, there has to be a balance here. There has to
Oh,
be
absolutely.
where both contribute or whatever. So anyway,
Yes, yes. And
look
it's not
around.
always equal, yet
Right.
in the long run, it does balance itself out by being aware of taking care of ourselves as well as being available to somebody else. But we really have to look at what makes us feel good and what makes, I don't know, like so that it comes back to us.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
And the last point about that balance in terms of relationships, ask yourself, are there relationships in your life now where the energy feels one-sided? And what
Yes.
might you do to restore a sense of mutual two-way flow in that?
Hmm.
And I'm going to say right off the that can be challenging because people get used to where they're at in
Hmm.
something.
Right.
And if you are the one that has to come to someone and say, "We need to figure something out about this," you need to walk that path very gently.
Oh,
I'll just put
definitely.
it that way.
Diplomatically.
Diplomatically, exactly. Yes. It's tough. Again, it's because we're creatures of habit and we get into a rut for better or for worse. Um, and you can be an over giver or an over receiver or whatever that term is. I don't know it. But again,
Yeah.
maybe at some point, one of you has a moment of awareness where it's like, oh, I've been receiving a heck of a lot in this relationship and not giving a lot back. Now that would be a wonderful thing for somebody to figure out. But most of the time when we're on the receiving end, we're like, oh, this is great. Keep it coming. I love that. So, and finally, balance through acceptance
Yes.
and a word I don't like, but I will quote because it's from this post: balance
Okay.
through acceptance and surrender.
Oh,
Sometimes balance isn't about control, but it is about surrender, allowing life's tides to rise and fall without resistance. True balance is trusting that you can bend without breaking.
okay. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. She knows my
Surrender.
challenge with the word surrender. I've never,
Yeah.
surrender sounds like giving up to me.
I was just going to say it's like, okay, I give up. No, it's what's a different word for surrender? We got to think of a different word because I don't care for that one either. It's like, okay, I give up, you get everything.
Right,
Kind of
right,
feel.
right, right, right. What would be okay? So
He's a
I
word
do this
guy.
show. I do this show with our friend ChatGPT handy, just in
Uh-huh.
case. What
Yeah.
would be a good way to express the idea of surrender without that exact word? Let's see what our friend ChatGPT has to say about that. Um,
Okay.
yeah, excellent question. Surrender is power. Now, this is again, this is not Bill. When you hear the really, really, really smart things, it's probably not me. It's
They're very,
surrender is a powerful word, but can carry baggage, especially for listeners who might hear it as giving up. Exactly what we said,
yeah. Hmm.
rather than letting go. A few alternatives might be allowing.
Okay.
I'm already loving this.
Yes.
Allowing emphasizes openness and
Yeah.
flow, allow life to move through you instead of resisting at every turn. Letting go, yielding, releasing, that sort of thing. And then for you really want to take it to the next level, how about trusting?
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. Love that.
Trusting shifts the emphasis from control to faith or confidence. Balance often means trusting that you don't have to fix everything at once. Story of my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
So,
I like that. Trusting. That's a good word. Yeah.
right. So yours truly. So Bill is going to make a little vow here that surrender. Nah, you'll probably never hear me use that word anyway because it always had that baggage to it, like we talked
Yeah.
about. But
Hmm.
allowing or trusting, I can
Allowing,
get on board with that.
allowing, trusting. That has a flow to it. It spreads out. And so doing it for ourselves, we're also offering the person in our lives or the people in our lives the same opportunity,
Right. Right.
which is what it should be. It flows out.
Like that a lot. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes and again, to me that makes all the difference in my head about
Yeah.
how that works. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
it's
I
awesome.
feel much more receptive to allowing or flowing or,
Right.
trusting, whatever you want to put out there.
Right. Right. And
Both
that might be
sides,
my
you know.
I'll admit I have a little bias against a lot of regular book-based religious faiths. It's not my thing. And I see and I hear that word used a lot from in those books and in the people that practice that sort of a thing. And to me, okay, I don't want to get too far off the deep end on that one, but yeah. So
Mhm,
trusting and allowing,
mhm.
we can go with that. That's the word of the week. The word of the week, balance. And remember, I think the important thing for me is the awareness that at different times, at different stages of life, maybe week to week, balance is going to mean different things at different times.
Oh, yeah.
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 If I have a project I'm working on, my balance this week is going to be I'm heavily working on this project. It's taking a lot of my time. And I'm
Mhm.
okay with that because I know it's just for the week until I get the process of the project done or whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then how do you feel about that? That you committed to that, you
Right?
committed to yourself, you got it done. So you feel proud, you feel happy, you feel relieved.
Right.
So that little bit of effort that you put into that has a volume of returns.
And the other important thing that you mentioned is the trusting the way you do feel about things.
Yes.
Trust
Yes.
that what you are feeling or the nudges that you are getting or the intuition that you are feeling I'm not going to say it's 100% right, but it's nudging you in the right direction. Let's put it
Yes.
that way. Giving you
Mhm.
something to, hey, have you looked at this thing over here? Whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Word of the week, balance. Work on
Yep.
that, folks.
That's
Just, no high wire acts, just balance. There you
yeah.
go. All right.
Mhm.
What we're going to do, we're going to take a break and then we are going to have our guest on with us. So, yay, she's applauding over there. It's going to
You
be
know,
fun.
I love that guy.
I know we all do. All right, hang in there, folks. We will be right back. Hey, it's Bill stepping out of the studio for a quick second. On the podcast, one of the things we talk about a lot is motivation, the desire to get things done in life. It might be physical stuff, losing a few pounds, getting a better job, finding a great relationship. Or it might be more of what I like to call internal things, finding ways to feel better about yourself or life in general. Well, to help our listeners along that particular path, we've prepared a helpful, simple guide for personal motivation. It's called Flipping the Switch: How to Create Motivation at a Moment's Notice. I'd like to send you a free copy, along with some other special bonus goodies. Bonus, you say? Well, yes, kind of an unadvertised in-store special. What is it? Well, you'll just have to find out for yourself. So, do this. Head over to the website, www.thepracticalpathpodcast.com. Yep, the same name as the podcast itself. Put in your email and we'll immediately send you to the free download. We'll also let you know about upcoming podcast episodes and other behind-the-scenes information. Again, just head over to the website, www.thepracticalpathpodcast.com, and get your free guide to boosting your personal motivation. I'm sure you'll find it helpful and, dare I say, practical. Now, back to the show. And welcome back. This is The Practical Path, a podcast for personal and spiritual growth. Today we are at step number 61 along the path. And wow, what a step it is, because, Vicki Wagner, we have a guest with us.
I know, it's my buddy, BJ.
Ladies and gentlemen, please
Oh, my
welcome to
buddy.
The Practical Path, BJ Odom, author.
Yes.
That's a big word for a little guy like me.
Well, you got a big story to tell.
Big, listen to her.
Ooh.
Listen to that. Isn't that awesome? Yes. So, of course, for those who have listened to me for any length of time, you know that along with the Practical Path podcast with my friend Vicki, I also do the BJ and Bill podcast, talking about just two old guys just bitching about their old radio career, basically. and my friend BJ, who I have known for, well, Vicki, you and I figured out that it's like 25 or 6 years for you and me, so it's got to be
Yeah.
30 years for me and BJ.
Oh, at least.
At
Yes.
least. At
Yeah.
least.
And then, of course, we knew of each other before that because we were both in the radio business in Southwest Florida. So you hear other people because you're
Of
always
course.
listening to the competition. So
Of course.
Right.
yeah, we probably known each other for what? How old are you now, Bill?
I ain't saying. 68. 68.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we've probably known each other for 66 years or more.
So probably. So for those who have listened to BJ and I over on our other podcast, or maybe you were lucky enough to hear us on the radio back in the day, you know that our friend BJ has successfully undergone, of course he wouldn't be here if it was unsuccessful, wouldn't it? Duh. Heart transplant 20 plus years ago. Plus, how many times do you think so wait a minute, I'm getting ahead of myself. So BJ has written a book about his life and his medical exploits, his family helping him with all of this, his et cetera, et cetera. And that book comes out this week.
Right.
We're a little confused over the exact dates here, but if you go to Amazon, you will find, get ready for it. Here is the title: More Parts Than a Chicken Nugget.
Love that.
Is that awesome or what? So BJ
Love
Odom,
it.
welcome. This is your official welcome to the show.
And I want you to know this is my first official podcast interview for the book or radio or television. This is my debut interview for More Parts Than a Chicken Nugget.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Thank you for letting us be the first ones to help you with this.
Yes, you are the first ones.
Oh, love it.
So
Well,
now I'm going to, even though I've known you two for a long time and we've joked around for years and years and years, I will try to be as professional as I can during the interview.
okay, I prefer you being yourself, please. You two are awesome. I have loved you for years and years, and I was going to refrain from saying it, but I got to say it. Do you remember when I first met you and I went into your show? I said, "Oh my gosh, I finally meet two of the three men I wake up to every morning."
I remember that.
And both of you just went, "What?"
That's all
Your
right.
mouth dropped. I just love you guys, and I love you. And I just want to say it up front. You are a walking miracle and an inspiration. I just got to tell you that, BJ.
And hopefully this book will be an inspiration to
Hmm.
many. And it's not all about heart transplants and kidney transplants, even though
Yeah.
that's kind of the gist of the book. But my journey actually started at 22 months old. I had my first open heart surgery in
Oh my,
Chicago, Illinois at 22 months old. I was
wow.
supposed to be a blue baby, but that wasn't the situation. And they told my parents, oh, what we thought was wrong with him is not what's wrong with him. And then, of
Oh,
course, I never heard this story, but they were told your little boy will never live past maybe, 13, 14 years old.
oh, oh gosh. As a mom, that breaks my heart. Oh my gosh.
And I didn't know this, but I can only imagine what their feelings were,
Oh,
finding out that, you're going to lose your son. But then along came in 1968, when I was only 13 years old, I had an experimental surgery,
oh my God.
which, in all honesty, every child like I was the oldest living child to have the surgery performed
Oh my gosh.
because all the rest had passed away before they got to my age. So I
Wow.
got to that, got the surgery, and I thought I was all fixed. So, the book really it explores a lot of different things from, basically starting off my life on a small, farm in Indiana to,
Mm.
becoming a radio disc jockey to, becoming a comedian, a podcaster, meeting Bill. Bill is a chapter or two in the book and our escapades. And so, yeah, like, I don't want to say it's all medical, but the gist of the book is about a family. Because my mother was, and don't make me start doing this again, because I did this. Because when I start talking about this book, I can get you all teary eyed. So I'm going to try to behave myself. But, it's all about a mother's love and a family's love and, so on and so on. And there's some chapters that veer away, from the medical thing. There's a chapter about my family owned a silver mine, believe it or not.
Oh.
Um, my brother went to Vietnam.
Mm.
So, there's a lot of different stories, a lot of twists and turns. Yes, it's about medical, it's about surviving, but I think the book will surprise a lot of people.
Hmm. Yeah, I look
Before we
forward.
get too deep into it, credit where credit is due. We talked yesterday or earlier this week. We were on the BJ and Bill podcast, and we had your ghostwriter,
Yeah. And,
lovely lady by the name of Christina Metcalf, who has taken all of BJ's stories and interviews, and she interviewed him, she interviewed family members, she interviewed me, and turned them into this book. So if you buy the book, it's going to have her name on it too. So we want to, because
and I want to plug her because really she was the mastermind. Because here we are. Bill does another podcast besides BJ and Bill the podcast. I do the Gift of Life, the organ, the organ transplant podcast, and she donated a piece of her liver to her half sister.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so I had her on the podcast talking about that. And Bill has said for years, BJ, you need to write a book.
only 20 years, only
And,
25 years. Yeah.
Only
and,
25.
yeah. And so I was talking to her, and I said, oh, everybody always says I need to write a book. And I don't know,
Mm.
we just got talking about, my life and things that have happened. And she goes, oh my God, you do need to write a book. She goes, and we actually put a deal together. You know, a nice deal. But, and I don't want to say this out loud, but I'm going to say it anyway. She said, this is kind of a passion project for me. After being an organ donor myself, she
Mhm.
goes, so I did. I got a better deal than anyone would ever get from this young lady. And it's all her. I mean, yeah, I sat there for hours and hours at home recording stories. I spent time on the phone with her, telling her stories about my life. And she took all of not us, she took all of this information, compiled it, and, wrote the words on the pages. And there was things that I would read and say, well, can we change this? Because that's not really how it went down. And she goes, yeah, sure, we can do that. And, and there was things that she wrote, that is probably, and that was one of the questions she asked me. She goes, as you read back these chapters, will people think this is you? And I go, hell no, people's not going to think it's me. It's well too written to think that it's me writing this book. But, the stories are all, they're true.
Yeah.
They all came from me. I will say a few little times I think she embellished a few of the stories, to put it better into a book. But all in all, I read it and I start crying like a baby. And I live this stuff. And I told her the stories, but to see it on, in a book in pages, and you're sitting there reading it, and you know the story, and I mean, just blubber, blubber, blubber. And the other day when we were doing the podcast, I started blubbering. I go, what is wrong with this man?
There's nothing wrong with you. You're feeling it, you're expressing it, and you talking about it. How many other people are you inspiring?
Well, hopefully a lot.
A
That's the key
lot.
to this.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm getting goosebumps right now saying that it's going to touch millions of people you're never going to meet.
Yeah, that's my hope anyway, and my dreams. And that's kind of what, when she said, this is a passion project for me,
Yeah.
that's kind of her hope and dreams too, that this
Yes.
book will actually encourage, even more organ, because, her
Mhm.
angle of it was, the whole organ donation. That's why I
Yeah.
think she got involved, but then, she found out other things that happened. And so, like I said, there's a lot of things in this book that for people that don't know me will be inspired, but people that do know me will probably read and go, didn't know anything like that ever happened in his life. But it
Yeah.
even goes through my brother going to Vietnam. It goes through my mother's bypass surgery and us losing her. It's
Mhm.
all in there. It's like I open this thing up and I let her flow.
And that's how you touch people, by being honest, by sharing and inspiring other people. I do the same thing, because when I was working, I would share my story from my past, and it can change so many people's lives just by sharing. So you're a miracle, but how many miracles are you going to be passing out to other people to say, if he can do it, I can do it too.
And what I'm really hoping that people learn from this, because that's what even I think, as we interviewed her the other day, Christina, I think she was really surprised on how I kept a positive attitude through everything.
Yeah.
Like I go into the hospital and I try to make the nurses, sometimes the doctors, it's hard to make laugh because they just don't want to laugh. They want to have that stern look and they want to be doctors. But
Yeah.
there are people that go into the hospital and I know you are at your worst. I know you're the sickest you've been. And it's always woe is me, and oh, just get out of here. And there's been times that I've been angry in a hospital room too. I'll admit it. There's been times that I've probably lost my cool. But 99% of the time when I go into the hospital, I try to make the nurses laugh. I try to turn it into a good time. I try to, feel like I'm on a comedy stage. And I
Yeah.
actually have had nurses, because, they change shifts and sometimes you get this nurse and the next day you may have the next nurse. I don't think they ever had, physical fights, but I've had nurses fight on who got, the patient in room 89B, because I want him. I like going in there. It's fun. It's a good time.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hear.
So
That's
you
it.
have done more than just heal yourself. How many people have you healed and touched with your attitude? With your,
Hopefully,
hopefully?
hopefully a lot.
Really? You think
Yeah.
hopefully? I'm going to challenge you on that one, buddy, because you said a lot of people.
And like I said, I'm hoping this book will do the same. And it's not like, and I do want to stress that yes, to transplants, but it's not all about transplants. It's about the fight from the beginning
Mhm.
all the way to, well, there is no ending of the book yet. Maybe that's why there will be, a second book. But, basically kind of like when we were first putting this together in our brains, and I don't know even know if this is in the book or not, but I think it kind of is. Like, here I was told that I would never probably see the 1970s. And then the joke is, here I am at 70 years old trying to find the keys for my, my electric vehicle, my EV, so we can get to the early bird special. That's what's important today, got to get to that
Yeah.
early bird special. So basically from, 1970s to living to the 70s here
Yeah.
in this day and age, that's the gist of the story. Cause really it should have been cut short. And if you go to the website, more parts than a chicken nugget, you will see that Bill's been building the website for me, my
Oh,
good buddy
wonderful.
Bill. But
Yep.
I had quotes from people, from my life, saying how they're excited about, reading the book. And one of them was a young lady who said she remembers, when her mother came to her and told her about me. And I'm not going to say it again. I'll let Bill tell this story because I started crying the other day on the podcast about how she thought she'd never be able to ride her bicycle or play with her friend again. And
Oh,
Still happened.
yeah,
It
yep.
still happened. Yeah.
Mm.
I to me it is, yes, as you said, as we've all said, a miraculous story with all the, but yet the technology of it is not the big deal. I mean, it was when you were, like you said, when you were a kid, when it was an experimental thing. And you and I have talked about this before, BJ, that you're probably in some textbook somewhere
oh yeah, some medical book.
because you were the
Oh, I'm
first
sure.
guy to have that particular person to have that particular kind of surgery done and successfully got
Mm.
through it and all of that. And
Yeah.
and then here, 20, 30, 40 years later, heart transplant, kidney transplant, all of that stuff. And again, not to downplay it, but the technology part of it, that's not that's part of the story, but it's honestly a small part of the story because it's the human story that always makes the difference. And
Yes.
like you have said, and we have said, like everybody who's been connected to you and knows your story, it's the way that you went through it. And that's something we talk about on this podcast a lot, on being aware of what's going on and not fighting against it. We before you joined us on the show just a few minutes ago, Vicky and I had this big discussion about the use of a word that I don't like called surrender. And we're changing surrender to trusting.
Hmm.
And the way that you trust that things will be okay, if not even great, to me, that's the story. The, the
Hmm.
Yes.
the the trusting and the going with the flow and the being okay with the process thing. You
Yeah.
know, we always say trust the process, and for
Hmm.
you, it's been a 60-year process,
Yeah.
70-year process,
Well,
and you're still
like I
doing
said,
it.
but like I said
Hmm.
too, when I was young, I had no idea, like when I went and had that experimental surgery in
Right.
1968, I did not know that my parents were told that, I would never, live past probably where I was. And
Mm.
this was maybe their last shot to keep me alive. And so they were going to take it.
Right.
But it is in the book how I say goodbye to all my toys as we're leaving to go to the hospital.
Oh,
Oh,
So
I
it's
never
a,
heard that. What a great
yeah. So,
story.
yeah. So you'll read that in the book. But, and my parents also told like neighbors and things like that. And I got to admit, when I was younger and I was sickly, yes, I was treated differently because I was that sickly little boy. But
right.
yet they told my teachers, the parents of kids that were, playing, with me and, were part of my life. treat him like everybody else. Don't
Uh,
treat him as some kid that's, sickly or going to die. And I think that's helped me in my life because they didn't. And now when I see like an autistic child or I see a child in a wheelchair, there's something that just grabs my heart. And even if I see, I want to talk to him. I want to, hey, I want to be their buddy. And I don't want to veer off here, but you know, while I do my podcast, it's really weird because I was writing this book with Christina, and we were talking, about my woes as a child. And at the
mm,
very same time, and I don't know if this is the universe, God, or what, that all made this happen all at the same time, but all of a sudden, all these pediatric moms started reaching out to the podcast going, my son, my daughter is going through a heart transplant, going through a lung transplant. I'd like to share their story. And so
mm,
as they were sharing their stories, and there's this one little kid that I've been following on Facebook now, and he is like, he reminds me so much of me when I was
mm.
a kid, because you see him, in his hospital room. He's been in a hospital now for over a year. His name is Wilson. And he's got tubes because he's looking for a lung transplant. He's
Oh,
got tubes that are coming from a big machine that when he walks down the hallway, it's like a big shopping cart that the nurse is pushing behind him as the hoses are connected to him. But he's laughing, he's joking, he's playing. And his mother said, "Oh, he's been in the hospital for over a year, and but yet he's so happy." And I said, "I remember those days. I
mhm,
remember when I was a kid. I remember when I was in the hospital, and that was my normal." Oh yeah, all the other little kids could run. All the other little kids could do that. They could do that. They weren't going to the hospital all the time, but it was my normal. And so
mhm.
I was happy because I didn't know anything else. And I don't know what it was, but when I told
Mm,
Wilson's mother that story, I could feel it. The energy that came out in her and just the hope that came out in her. She goes, "Thank you." She goes,
mm.
"You don't know what that meant to me by knowing that Wilson's going through this, you went through it, and how you felt. And you're saying you were happy. That was your normal." She felt, okay, my kid's feeling the same.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember, BJ, when
wow.
you and I were on the radio back in Southwest Florida, we did a lot of work, fundraisers and the shows and stuff for the hospital that had, for the Lee Memorial Hospital where they had the Children's Cancer Center
Yeah.
there. And to this day, and it's probably now 50 years later, or maybe not that much, but one of the doctors telling us that, little kids don't know that cancer is a death sentence. They don't know that. So they don't live that way. So they choose to believe that, well, they don't choose. They are still living their best lives.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got to go to the hospital and I got to have this thing done and I got to go through this process and okay, but okay, still living a great life. And
Yeah.
that sounds exactly like what you and your buddy Wilson and all that are doing is that yeah, okay, there's all that stuff out there that needs to be taken care of, but it doesn't change who I am. It doesn't change my basic person. Well, I don't know. Again, I'll read the book and I'll find out how you felt about it. But it sounds to me like this is like I can still live a good life, a happy life.
Mhm.
Yes, do I have limitations? Of course, we all do. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's still great. It's still going to be great. It's still going to be what I choose it to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Attitude really makes a big difference. Having
Well,
the right attitude, and you have it, BJ. My gosh,
and
you're
then
really you're an
I will
inspiration.
and I will say this too. I think if I did not, and the Lord must have blessed me with this attitude, or
Mhm.
my parents instilled it in me. I don't know where it came from, but I truly believe if I did not have the attitude that I have, I would have been long gone. There would have
Abs-
been no podcast. There would have been no book.
yeah, absolutely. Well,
And-
that's it. It's the energy that you put out is coming
right,
back to you. And
right.
the energy that you're putting out is touching millions of people you're never going to meet. So you're giving a gift every single day.
And I know that on your podcast, you talk a lot about, you know, the path and how things are put in front of you at certain times. And that's
Right.
why I say when it was so, because I've been doing this, you know, the Gift of Life podcast now for well over a year. And I
Hmm.
had no pediatric mothers reach out to me. It was all adults, all people maybe donating. Maybe I even had a few donor mothers here, you know, that, you know, donated their organs from their child, but no pediatrics. So I'm writing this book. We're going through this at the same time. Well, all these, I probably had 3 or 4 pediatric mothers all within the same 6 weeks, you know, come through and was on the podcast. And how
Yeah.
all that timing worked out, I'll never know. Like I told Bill too, I said, man, this is better than therapy. Let me tell you
Oh,
right now,
yeah.
writing a book,
Absolutely.
talking to these ped mothers and all of it happening at once, better than
Yep.
any therapist I could ever afford to buy.
All right.
Absolutely.
Let's take a quick break. We take care of a little business, and I have the very important question for BJ when we come back. Okay, welcome back to the show. This is The Practical Path, a podcast for personal and spiritual growth. And we are on the path with my friend, our friend, BJ
All
Odom, this afternoon, this morning, whenever you are listening, talking
right.
about his new book. I say that like you've written like 100 of them, you know, like if I were talking to like Oprah, her new book. What do you mean, new book? It's his only book, but it's going to be more than one because already his associate writer, his ghostwriter, is reminding him that it's time to do another one. But here's the important question, BJ Odom, and I have yet to get a good answer from anybody on this. Doggone it, I'm going to press you on this. Who plays you in the movie?
I
Oh,
think I think Christina came up with the right answer.
Oh, I didn't hear that. What did she say?
She said an AI, or you said it yesterday, you know, like when I thought, well, who's going to play me when I'm a baby? Who's going to play me when I'm
Oh,
13?
oh,
Who's,
oh.
and she's, and it was either you or her that said, well, it can all be AI generated.
Yeah,
So,
I get
so
that.
I'm even thinking the old guy, you know, when he
Yeah.
gets to be the 70-year-old guy, please let it be AI, you know, intelligence. And then I can look like, oh my God, for 70, he's looking good. He looks like a 27-year. Maybe that's it. Maybe I should want like, you know, somebody like, I don't know, who's Gosling or something to play me at 70.
Right. Oh, sure. Okay, that's hilarious, but it's a cop out, and I'm going to continue to press you on
I
this as we
I
go.
I don't
I
know.
agree. I
Well,
agree.
let's just say I think it'll be up to Reese Witherspoon because she has a book club.
Right.
And if you get in her book club, you have to sign an agreement that if it becomes a movie,
I
she
told you this. Wait a minute. Don't be
oh,
pulling
okay.
this out of
I
the
said
hat. I
I
told you this a year ago.
well, I said I heard about it. I said I heard it. Just didn't remember. I'm old. I'm 70. I didn't remember who in the hell told me this. But yeah, so she gets the rights to the movie. So it'll be up to
Yes.
her. It'll be up to Reese. Make sure you
Okay.
tag her in this episode, by the way.
Sure. Sure. Okay. So yes, remember, and also remember, I think I told you 5 or 6, the 6 best words you can, as an author, the 6 best words you can ever speak in the universe are, and I quote, "Nice to see you again, Oprah." So remember that one, because
and then
you're gonna need that one too. So
and then
Yes.
there you go.
then when people get so excited because they're with Vicky and Bill that they forget what they're talking about and everything else, they got to remember to say available on Amazon.
Right. Well,
More parts than a chicken nugget.
but
Available
trust me,
on Amazon.
trust me, we will have
Absolutely.
the link in the show notes, of course. But yes, go to Amazon, and it's not hard to find because there aren't a lot of other books, more parts than a chicken nugget. I mean, it's like, come on, seriously? And so it's easy to find. It really
now,
is. So go to
now
Amazon and it'll be there.
I want you to go to Amazon. Well, and just don't go to the link. Just search more parts than a chicken nugget. And
Right.
then, of course, the book pops up. Well, the book pops up, but then look under it. It's all children's books.
Is it really? Well, that's
Really?
because they don't know the category. I actually did a search. Oh,
Yeah.
no, that's right. I went directly to the book. And because Amazon categorizes everything, they start with a big, gigantic category and then they go smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So yours, in fact, here, let me do that really quick. I'm going to go over to
Okay.
Amazon and I'm going to plug in more parts, etc. So hang on a second. This will take 2 seconds.
Now, while you're doing that, my ghostwriter, Christina
Yeah,
Metcalf, she and her sister released a book because her sister also released a book about her organ transplant with her liver.
right,
And then Christina, released her latest book.
right,
And so a lot of their friends and neighbors bought both books. And so somehow her book, which had nothing to do with medical, it was more about a woman's journey.
right.
And all of a sudden they kind of clumped them together because they were getting the same audience. And she says,
Oh,
don't ever do that again. Don't ever release a book with a friend or whatever that's in a different genre, because all of a sudden they kind of clump those two
Well, yeah,
because
but
you're getting the same.
I would think if you did a search, well, if you go to another book by Christina, you might see yours because it's the same author. I don't know that. I don't know how Amazon works. But
yeah.
like, for example, Amazon, if I go to the page now for More Parts Than a Chicken Nugget, there you are. Story of survival, second chances, and the family that held me together. There you go. B.J. Odom, author. Christina Metcalf, author, etc. It's the books, biographies and memoirs, big category, biographies and memoirs, and then it goes to community and culture, interesting choice, and
Hmm.
then the last one is disability, which I don't know if I like that either, but I
Yeah.
hear it, I got it, and then
Yeah.
you can click on those on the Amazon page, and it will show you all the other books, the top rated books in that category, special needs biographies. Okay.
Hmm.
Small Steps, The Year I Got Polio, Wild, From Lost to Found on the Pacific Northwest, Thunderdog, The True Story of a Blind Man and His Dog. So anyway, you see where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
They group all that stuff together. So
Mhm.
anyway, I don't know what that had to do with any of this story, but it sounds interesting anyway. So there you go. That's how we find BJ Odom. So anyway, it's all out there on Amazon right now. So you can go buy it right now. Now, as this podcast comes out on a Thursday morning, I would suggest that you might wait a day or two and go back and find it in hardcover. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to get it in hardcover. Yeah. Mhm.
It's not really hardcover, is it, BJ? It's paperback, but
It's paperback. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Where is it?
paper.
You got? Don't you have yours?
Yeah. Right. Now, of course,
Oh,
as you can see, it has a stripe
Yep.
because this is like a pre-copy. So it
Right.
says, not
oh,
for sale, not for sale. And it says that on the back too, not for sale, not for sale.
oh,
But this is the actual book. And look at, of course, people aren't seeing this because, you only get, but look at that. That's my little guy when I was about 2 or 3 years old. And I
oh,
was the poster child for the American Heart Association way back in Indiana.
oh my gosh.
So I
Wow.
figured, I don't know why. My parents always kept that picture. It was like a good picture of me of a youngin.
Yeah.
And I just said, this has got to be on the book cover. And then, of course, as you can see, a heart-shaped chicken nugget.
It's a
and,
hard
and and no one's asked me this question yet. But they go, "How did you come up?" No one's here. I'm going to give you a sample question.
sample
Ask me,
question.
how did you come up with that name?
Why, BJ, how did you come up with that name?
Well, I did comedy for many, many years, and
Mhm.
they always said you should, go up and tell the audience a little bit about yourself and put it in joke form. So I would always go up, and I had a heart transplant in 2003, had a kidney transplant in 2015. I got more parts than a chicken nugget.
Oh, I love
Did
that.
it
So
get a
that's,
laugh? Is the
yes.
question.
And it would always get a huge laugh, although I
Yep.
did say in my comedy act,
Right.
and now that I'm not doing it, I don't have to worry about getting sued. I always said more parts than a chicken McNugget.
Right.
And I don't know if the Mick
Oh,
made it funnier or
Yeah, you
not,
might get in trouble for that.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
but yeah, that we couldn't put that in the book. So more parts than a chicken nugget.
There you go. That's
Yeah. It's good. Yep.
And then on the back too, you got some pictures of the whole family with the kids and everything and the
Oh,
grandkids. And
yeah.
then me and Susan, and then me doing magic, and me in a
Oh,
couple studios. And this, and I don't even know if that's in the book, but that picture right there It's like you can't see it because it's too small. But I was at the county fair and won the reserve grand champion barrel. I had the champion pig.
Very cool.
Champion pig.
Well, it wasn't the champion. It was the second. It was the reserve champion.
Reserve. What?
Is
What?
there
That means second place.
Oh, that's second place.
And you know what Billy or whatever his name is, Billy Bob or whatever. If you ain't first, you're last.
Yeah, that. Well,
Oh my gosh.
second, as they say on the TV commercials for somebody's sneaker somewhere. First place is second. Second place is first loser. So yeah, I get it, but that's all right. You did the county fair thing. It's all good. It's all good. So what will be? We got a few minutes. What will be the next book?
Yes.
I don't know, pine box. More pine boxes than
More pine boxes than a chicken nugget? Yeah, no, that's not. No. That's it. So Vicky, he texted me. BJ and I text back and forth a lot over on Sundays when our football teams are playing.
Oh, okay.
So we can compare notes on, how much we love it or hate it. And BJ will often text me that this team is trying to kill me. They're giving me a heart attack. And I'm like, there's the next book right there. He died watching football. So it's like,
now,
it's great.
Here's what's really funny. I don't even know if some of these stories are in the book or not, but I know I told Christina, I've read most of the book, but I haven't read like every page yet.
Right.
But I always wonder because they say that you can have feelings from your heart donor or your donor.
Yes.
And in 2003, when I got my heart transplant, I was in Tampa General Hospital. And I was a big wrestling fan, really didn't care about football. I didn't watch football. The only football I ever saw was when I was in high school. I went to a few high school football games. That was it. Didn't never watch football on Saturdays or Sundays.
Gotcha.
So I don't know what it was because the year that's the year they won the Super Bowl. And I was in the hospital a lot that year before my heart transplant.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you're talking about.
Yeah, because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the nurses, even a couple of the doctors was wearing jerseys there at the end when we were getting down, to the Super Bowl time. Because that town was just going, Tampa Bay Buck crazy. And and if you were in your hospital room watching the TV and the nurses would come in, oh my God, you're watching the game. And you could tell if you were watching, that's where I started watching them because they would stick around longer. The nurses would sit there and talk to you and watch some of the game. Oh my God, you got the game on because everybody was excited. So I don't know if I became a football fan because of my donor was maybe a big Buccaneer fan or if it's because they won the Super Bowl the year I got my heart transplant. I don't know what happened that year. But that's when I started watching football, and that's when I became a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan.
Okay, BJ, be honest. You watched it because of the nurses staying longer.
Yeah, that was okay. You caught me. You caught me, girl.
That's why she's the better half of this program. She catches that stuff. I would have never thought that. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, I mean, your work now, as Christine said the other day, and as your son has told us, and as Bill has told you, now the book is done. Now the work begins.
Oh yeah.
So you've been on this podcast. Now I'm going to tell you that you need to find another dozen or 24 or 100 that you can find similar podcasts and put yourself out there because everybody's going to want to hear this story.
Oh, it's inspiring.
I hope so.
Yeah, you're amazing. I mean, all that you've been through and you're still here, you're still laughing, you still got a positive attitude, you still keep going. I got to call you Energizer Bunny,
Hey, that used to be in my act too, but never mind.
It's a family show, as we always say.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, never mind that joke. We're going to leave that one alone.
Okay.
But now, thanks a lot, you two. Now you've got me completely lost of what I was going to say. Yeah. I appreciate it, but no, I don't know. I don't think there could be I've got more stories. Yeah, there could definitely be a second book, but as far as I'm 70 years old. There's not a whole. Even if I live another 10 years, what's the chapter going to be about? Okay, we went and had some Geritol and we we walked around the block. It was an exciting day, and I had a movement. I had a movement, and it was a beautiful day. Oh, too much of my comedy.
How did that turn into an old like Poconos Jewish humor kind of a thing all of a sudden there? Where did that come from?
I don't know.
I
Your listeners are going to say, "Who is this man?
Who is this guy? Who is it?" Yeah,
But this is my problem about being a jokester. Because when people like, and I don't know how I'm going to get when I'm with people that, are just, they don't know me. You guys know me and we can joke around, but when I'm being the serious BJ, I don't know how I'm going to be able to pull that off because I have no self-confidence about this book being amazing and people wanting to buy it. It's like, who wants to read my story? And I need to get that confidence. I can joke about it. I can laugh about it. And maybe that's some of my jokesters thinking, well, if it does go bad, at least we can joke our way around it. Who's going to buy this book,
Yeah, BJ, look at this. How much have we laughed through this whole thing?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. That's medicine. Okay.
right.
Yeah, but I sent you guys money even before.
I told you not to talk about the money.
We do say on this show very often, laughter is the best medicine, and
It
we
is.
mean it.
Absolutely.
And you are obviously living proof of it.
Thank you.
That's true.
I was just going to say the same thing. Absolutely.
And I think, I'm sorry, go ahead, Vicki.
No, I said just absolutely. You are an inspiration. Your attitude, your gifts that you're sharing, the energy you're putting out there. You're a miracle.
And as you reach out to other podcasters, you can say, just lead with it. I'm a, former radio personality and stand-up comedian and, stage magician and all of that stuff. If you're looking for somebody to tell a somber, tearjerker of a story, I'm not your guy. But if you want somebody who can be the uplifting guy who can tell a, fun, humorous story with a powerful message, no, we need to talk. So
I
don't know. I know you don't like to travel as much as I do, but I would see you as like almost like a keynote speaker kind of a guy.
Yes.
To be able to deliver this message to conventions and meetings and stuff like that to people, because I know those groups are out there.
Now, I will say this, and I know we're running out of time, but
take your time.
Authors like Christina, and I've talked to some other people who have written books, and they say that you sell a lot of books if you're doing like you said, speaking engagements.
Sure.
If you take your books to speaking engagements,
absolutely,
that's where they say you sell the books. And that's why I said, oh, I wish I felt better because I could be doing more comedy, because, back when I was doing comedy, people sold T-shirts. People sold I sold some magic tricks after my shows, because when you're out on the road, you're just trying to make a few extra bucks, because you're out there and you're spending a lot of money in hotels and things like that. And like a book like this out on the road, I could probably sell, depending on the size clubs I was playing, I could probably sell 20 to 40 of these at 20 to 20, probably average 20 a night if I was out on the road right now.
Yeah.
Now, you have the benefit of living near Orlando, where, they have a few conventions now and then.
Oh, yeah.
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 And so this just popped into my brain, but it sounds to me like somebody could use an agent that could get him in front of those medical and transplant and parental groups to be able to do a little bit of a speaking engagement. And all you got to do is drive to Orlando and they'll probably even pay you a few bucks.
Yeah.
I think I need 20% for that, having given you that idea.
No, you got to book me and then you get your 20%. There you go, Bill. There you go. You want to make your 20%? You give me some jobs, young man. But
I'll get to work right. I'll get right to work on that.
But here's my it's not a problem. And Vicki said, no, it's natural. But I go up there and I start talking about this book and I get so serious and I start talking about, my brother and my mother and all that other stuff. And once again, I'm like, 5 minutes into this little pep talk, and all of a sudden they're trying to be pepped up by a guy that's got a million alligator tears coming down his face going, buy my damn book. and because I know me, and I even when I was out before the book, and I would tell my transplant story, because that was a big thing with our group. We'd go out and talk to Chamber of Commerces and things like that.
Right.
usually go out and, pairs of like, 4 or 5 people, and they'd all,
Mhm.
do a few minutes and tell their little story. And half the time there, I'd like get maybe 2 minutes into my speech and the tears would start coming, and I'd kind of wrap it up. And good thing we had 5 guys. Okay, next.
Whatever it takes. Whatever
You
it
know
takes.
what that tells me, BJ, is that you are thankful, you're grateful, you're alive, and you're inspiring other people to take that step that are afraid to do it. So to me, you're an inspiration. And if you cry, that means that you're authentic.
Well, I appreciate that.
There you
Now
go.
you're gonna make me cry just saying that. Thanks a lot there.
That's what I do best.
It's what she does. It's what she does, damn it. That's what she does.
Maybe
I've
I
had,
need
yeah, no, I've had a
maybe
lot of men cry when I work with them. Let me tell you. And it, to me, it's, I'm grateful because I've touched their heart.
maybe I need to do a card session to see where the book's gonna go.
Ah, what a great
Yeah.
transition. Thank you for that so much, because we've come to the end of our hour. But if you would like to get in touch with Vicki Wagner for more help on this, see what I did there?
I know. I
Miss
set
Vicki,
you
how do
up,
we get,
brother.
Miss Vicki, how do we get in touch with you?
You can call or text 239-248-0586 or email me at Vicki, Vicki, Wagner, Wagoner, 53 at gmail.com.
And you can find all my stuff at YouTube at Bill's iPhone Tips. Do a search for that as well. And you can find, most importantly, this
Yes.
doggone book by our buddy BJ Odom at Amazon, More
Yay.
Parts Than a Chicken Nugget. Digital is available right now as we speak, if you're listening to this podcast as on the day it drops. But hang around for a day and wait and buy the hardcover. Trust us,
Yeah.
buy the hardcover.
Yeah.
And by the way, I want to thank and tell them to go to the website because it was built by this wonderful guy named Bill Skladowski. Just go to morepartsthanachickenNugget.com.
That wasn't a hard website to find. Trust me. It's like, gee, I want this website. Oh, it's taken. Gee, I want this website. Oh, it's taken. Yeah, more parts than a chicken nugget. Yeah, okay, you can have that. Sure. Easy. I like it when things are easy. All right, everybody. What?
I'm just getting. I know you're not gonna close. Well,
You're
I
fine.
went to it. I went to it before you put it up just to see if it was up,
Mhm.
and I got the little note says you can buy this, and some broker's name come up. So I don't know what that was all about, but that's probably before you put it up there. It's probably going to call you and say, "Hey, I got some guy that's going to buy this thing for $100. You want to sell it?"
Well, in a couple of years after the book has done its run its course and all of that, we can monetize the website. That's the fancy word for it there. Sell it for, $100,000 or something like that and see what we can get out of it. So wait, I can sell it because
Yeah, you own it.
Never.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
I think we'll figure it out. No problem. All right, everybody. Listen, we really appreciate you, BJ, for coming on the show with us today. This is unbelievable story, and it just keeps getting better. And we look forward to the book coming out. We're both Vicki and I have already said we're both gonna buy it, but we need autographed copies, so we're gonna have to figure out how to do that.
Guess I'm gonna have to go to Blue Ridge again.
Yeah, well, there you go.
You have to.
Deliver it in person. It's all good.
Absolutely.
Hey, really, in all honesty, thank you both because I appreciate this. And like I said, maybe this will get me geared up for more interviews, and we'll get this book off the ground.
Good warm up for you to go out and talk to more people about this great book and about the message that it brings of hope and happiness and family and all that good stuff. And that's as good as it gets. All right, that's going to do it for this week. We love you. We appreciate you being with us. As always, we'll see you again next week. I'm Bill Skladowski.
I'm Vicki Wagner, and always remember to be your own best friend.